any chance of this? After half a century of Cold War acrimony, the United States and Cuba have finally decided to restore diplomatic relations. What was the significance of that? Well, questions are being asked about the 31 million public inquiry found into the allegations of merger and talks against British military that turned out to be completely baseless. First, though, the Pakistani armies responded after the killing of 148 people in a school massacre. Is that the right response? Call 0345 60 973. And that, I have to say, it was just unbelievable as we started seeing overwhelmingly that the 143 were mainly children, 148 mainly children. And you can't understand, you have many Muslim friends as I do. We know what Islam's about, we know what the Prophet Muhammad said. I mean, nowhere is anything written in the Quran that justifies that sort of action.
No, I know, and of course, it gives a big lie to the fact that, these extreme Islamic groups, whether they're the Taliban or ISIL, are anti the kafirs, non-believers like you and me. What they're doing is making war on fellow Muslims. But what I also think is unbelievable, I mean, okay, the IRA blew up innocent people and didn't seem too bothered about doing it. But, to go into a school and murder children, one as young as 2, I mean, you have to, what manner of people can do that? But also you have to ask, how can people be so brainwashed that they lose any sense of humanity, and they do that?
In Britain and America, when you get slaughter like that, it turns out to be...
Home Office Minister, I visited Peshawar in the late 80s. It was a lovely place, but I wandered around perfectly freely, and it's a sadness to me that I don't suppose anyone like me could ever do that now.
I appreciate your sympathy. Yes, Peshawar is a very vibrant city, and what has happened there that has made us all heartbroken. This terrible thing, I have no words to explain, but as a while ago you were saying, this is separation from the religion. It is totally, misrepresentation of the religion, but unfortunately, this is what is happening. But I can assure you that the entire nation is on one page. The entire nation has shown determination to go after these forces of darkness.
See, that is good, and obviously all of us here, I think, whatever our religion or political outlook, will wish you well in obliterating a group whose lack of humanity is taken to those extremes. But I guess, High Commissioner, since the aim of this is to, as well, put to you things that some people say that you won't agree with, there's an American television series on at the moment, a lot of us find addictive, called Homeland. And the key point about Homeland, which is much watched in the States, and it's interesting that American television producers now have no hesitation in doing this, that the essence of the story is that the Pakistan intelligence service, that the Pakistan military is so infiltrated by supporters of extremism that they effectively work with them. Do you think that the Pakistan government can put and the Pakistan armed forces can put a sustained united front on efforts to eradicate that kind of Taliban force?
I would rather not like to comment on what Hollywood thinks or what Hollywood, like to depict. But what I can say is very, very, very safely is that for the last 6 months, that movie or drama or whatever soap is talking about, I think the last 6 months performance of the Pakistan government and military together contradicts that. We have been going after these people. We have cleared the areas where they were operating out of, 90% of them. We have dismantled the infrastructure. So I think this is easier said than done, because, we are the greatest sufferers. We have laid down more than 50,000 lives in the hands of such people, in the hands of such convoluted ideologies which are spreading hate. we have suffered in terms of over 100 billion in loss of economic investments, and the country has suffered a great deal. So I think it would be appropriate that if the sacrifices which have been rendered by the nation, by the military, they are appreciated rather than being sort of, tried to find some.
Yeah.
Tell me, Commissioner, how is it that young minds get corrupted in this way, that they can believe it's legitimate in the theology of Islam to go and kill over 100 children? What are they doing? How are they reaching? I mean, is what causes the anger that allows them to do that?
I mean, is it the madrasa system that really, we now have a problem in the UK. I think we've allowed Saudi and other money to come in, and generations of kids you suddenly find are being taught things have nothing to do with what I would call core Islamic beliefs. Do you think the madrasa system, which in your country is, as in ours, a lot of it is funded from outside sources, from the Gulf particularly, from Saudi Arabia and Qatar and so on, do you think that that is poisoning young minds and breeding extremists?
See, the madrasas have been there for as long as Islam has been there, 14 centuries. So I think to generalize that all madrasas are teaching or preaching hate, I think that would be a folly. What I'm trying to say is that what has happened or what is happening, that has a history. Pakistan until 10 years ago or 12 years ago did not know all what we are experiencing today. We were a very moderate society. We were a very tolerant society. So this has a...
I remember the bread, the clay bread up and buried in the ground, and eating a most delicious bit of bread, walking around perfectly openly, no security.
Murder, Kurdistan, people in Syria and Iraq. It's going to be an ongoing problem which erupts every 10 years now.
You see, you're right in thinking it's going to be difficult to deal with ISIS